Dear students, welcome to this new session. So today we are going to correct the take-home assignments given last time. Now, to start, here we have our data exported on our Excel spreadsheet. So I'm going to demonstrate to you how to use Excel to estimate all your parameters. Now let's start with the mean as far as our assignment is concerned. So I first apologize because I'll be using the French acronym since my machine is configured in French, but I'll be giving you the equivalence in English. So to start any estimate, we start by the sign equal. So all what we are doing is appearing in the formula bar here, right? So we have equal, and then you have to type the corresponding function, that is the mean, in French moyenne. Good. Once I select it, bracket open, I now have to put the first case of my data range, that is B3. Perfect. And then till is here denoted by the column, and then the end of my data range, that is F12, and then I close the bracket. Then I validate, and I now have my mean. For the standard deviation, I just have to do the same. Equal, I'll select standard deviation. In French it is écart, and here I'll have three options, and I need to know what I want. So here, for example, we are dealing with a population, considering that the number of observation is more than 30. So select the standard deviation for the population, and then we put the beginning of our data range, that is B3, column for till, and then the end, that is F12, then bracket close, and here we have our estimate of the standard deviation. All right, we do the same for the variance. Equal, and then variance of the population, beginning of our data range, column, and then the end of the data range, that is F12, and then bracket close, and now I have my variance. Fine. At this junction, we'll estimate the variation coefficient, noted here CV. So equal. All right, now the formula is given by the standard deviation by the mean. Here I select my standard deviation, divided by, that is slash, and then the mean I just selected, and I validate, and here I have my standard deviation. So dear students, we have estimated the mean, the standard deviation, the variance, and the coefficient of variation. Now we are going to move to the next question, that was to estimate the critical value considering 2.5% of the best bird for selection. Fine. Here, if we consider the normal distribution law, we'll see that 2.5% left minus 2.5% right, it remains 95%. So the situation applicable to us here is the mean plus or minus 2 standard deviation. Now don't forget that here we are dealing with the best performances, so we are selecting only right. Therefore the critical mean expected will be mu plus 2 standard deviation. Fine. Now let's come back and estimate our 2 sigma. So I have equal and then 2 time and then sigma, that is the standard deviation sigma, and then I validate. Here I have my 2 sigma. Now our critical value is equal to the mean plus then my 2 sigma, then validated, and here I have my critical value. Now if we go back to our diagram, our normal distribution shape or curve, we realize here that this is our selected population, and the least to be selected must have the critical value here presented. Now in conclusion, when we go through our data, we realize that we have only the animals number 1 of locality 2 and then number 5 of locality 4 that perform at least equal or more than the critical value. So only those 2 animals are going to be considered, hence our conclusion. Okay, that's fine. Now let's estimate the other parameters. We also have to estimate the covariance. So to estimate the covariance, what we'll do, we'll first estimate the variance of y let's follow, dear students. Fine. So variance of y equal variance of the population, then the beginning of the data range, then semicolon, then the end of the data range, then I close it, and then I have my variance for the mean body weight at 3 weeks. I'll call it variance y. Alright, so at this juncture I have almost all the data I need. Good. Now the covariance x and y will be equal to, let's have it, function covariance, and then I'll select the first data range, that is the body weight, the adult body weight, column F12, and then to select the second data range, that is the second variable or parameter, I will use a semicolon, and then beginning of the data range, and then the last. Then sorry, something happened. Let's start again. Beginning of the data range, and then column, then the last or the end of the second data range. I close my bracket, and then I have now the covariance. Alright, now the correlation coefficient is equal to the covariance by the product of the variance of x and y. But I can do the same to have the covariance straightforward. Covariance correlation coefficient selected. Alright, here I have to select my data range as before. So B3 for the first data range, semicolon, then F12, and then semicolon, second data range, colon, and then I closed it, and now I have my correlation coefficient. Same is done for the regression coefficient. Equal regression let's estimate this one. So the regression coefficient here is estimated using the covariance divided by the variance of x here presented right. And now I have my regression coefficient, that is 0.061, and then you can read the rest. So my dear students, we have come to the end of this correction. I hope you followed and that you'll be able to reproduce it on your own at home. So feel free to get in touch with me if there's any detail that you couldn't figure out. Thank you very much and see you next time.